Good evening. It's an honour to be here this evening and to share with you just some of the ideas I have for the role of Societies and Student Development Officer. First off, I'd like to tell you a little about myself. My name is Graham Smith and I'm a third year student in St John's College. I am not running for this position to enhance my CV. I am not doing this job just to become a sabbatical officer, and I am not doing this for the rock and roll lifestyle. However, I am standing before you with real ideas and improvements for this role. I have worked closely with Ben Robertson over the past year as an executive member of 2 societies, critically assessing the work he has done and seeing where I can make improvements. I believe that if you can't see room for improvement, then you are not looking hard enough. This job is all about improving the student experience. To be clear, this role is not a presidential one. It's about facilitating work within the union to improve society's student experience and increasing participation in democracy. Let me tell you about 3 areas in which I would aim to improve the union as SSD. These are communication, transparency, and modernisation. Communication. Time and again, talking to students in colleges and at the events forum, their lack of involvement in the DSU boils down to one thing: communication. It is central to everything we do as a students' union, especially considering the collegiate nature of Durham University. Natalie and the other SABs have started to do some really good work on this, and I would like to build upon that work. Beyond that, if elected, I will endeavour to spend 1 night a week in colleges so that students may come and ask questions of me. I will spend as much time in Queen's campus as is necessary. Transparency. I want the societies to understand more about the decisions that affect them. To take an example, I want to provide societies with constructive feedback with every funding application they make. This will allow them to get greater access to the money, so they can do what they do best. During my time as SSD, I would also look to reduce the burden of paperwork placed on societies to make sure the whole proceedings are clearer. Modernisation. The DSU is not using technology to its full extent. As a computer scientist, I have the knowledge and the skills to improve this. We need to be innovative. We need to make better use of Facebook and the sabbatical Twitter accounts. We need to either use them or lose them. Beyond this, I'd like to create an online user area for societies. This would be an area where all the relevant information has been collated together. Think Duo, only more useful. This will minimise the amount of time that societies spend doing administration and increase the amount of time they spend giving back to their members. I also hope to get more involvement in Purple Radio. I plan to have Purple Radio reach a wider audience. I want to do this with a combination of a wider advertising campaign and the playing of Purple Radio in Dunham House to increase its audience and generate more interest in the station. And this is just one way in which I would like to augment the student experience. And why not? It's an exciting time to be a student at Durham University, with the City of Culture beyond the horizon and high levels of turnouts in cross-campus ballots. Last term, more people than ever getting involved in student theatre. I've told you about how I'd like to enhance the societies and student experience. Another equally important part of this job is that of being a trustee. Being a member of execs, I'm used to setting direction and policy and working closely with treasurers. As a trustee, I would represent the views of the entire union, formulating the strategic direction and being responsible for the financial, legal and reputational well-being of the DSU. Needless to say, when sitting on the trustee board, I'd be a trustee first and a sabbatical officer second. I could not prioritise any individual part of the union above that of the well-being of the union as a whole. I'd love to go on, but there is simply not enough time for me to cover everything I'd like to in the husts and in the questions. So please, if you have any questions for me, email me at graham.smith, that's graham.smith, at durham.ac.uk. Or you can find me on Facebook, or indeed, catch me in Kingsgate at the close of this meeting. I know what this role entails. I really want to do this job properly. And most importantly, I know that I have the relevant experience and ideas to be the best Societies and Student Development Officer. If you believe, as I do, that I am the man for this job, then I humbly ask you to vote for me, Graham Smith, as your next Societies and Student Development Officer. Thank you for your time.